Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford. Reporters Tad Stefanak, Chris Flaherty, and Robert Paris. Peter Brown with the weather, Gretchen Carey with Community Calendar, and Anthony Matos with sports. Thank you for joining us. Two pedestrians were transported to the hospital on this past Sunday after being struck by a vehicle. According to police, at 11:53 a.m., Burlington Police and Fire were dispatched to the area of Francis Wyman Road and Cedar Street for a report that pedestrians had been struck by a vehicle. Upon arrival, first responders provided aid to two individuals who were subsequently transported to an area hospital with serious injuries. The pedestrians were later identified as Maura Gilday and Dawn Mooney, two women set to become sisters-in-law after Gilday marries Mooney's brother. They are both currently in the hospital recovering from their injuries. As of Tuesday, June 7th, an update on a GoFundMe page created to help cover medical expenses reports that Gilday was off a ventilator and was responding well to medication and rest and was scheduled to have wrist surgery. The update also stated that Mooney was in progressive care unit and was coping with numerous fractures. You can find a link to the GoFundMe campaign on our website at bcattv.org/bnews. Finally, the driver of the vehicle who struck the two women remained on scene, and police have not said whether or not there will be any charges. We'll keep you updated on the investigation. The Burlington Conservation Department and representatives from the consulting firm BSC Group led a tour of locations around the Vinebrook Aquifer to hear about possible natural-based solutions to problems related to development. BNews Director Rich Hosford was there and files this report.
A group of interested residents joined the Burlington Conservation Department and representatives from the consulting firm BSC Group to tour locations around the Vinebrook Aquifer to hear about possible nature-based solutions to problems related to development. The tour was part of a one-year project under a program called Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness, or MVP, that is funded with grants from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs.
The MVP grant is to help us figure out nature-based solutions to reduce heat island effect and stormwater runoff, flooding in the Vinebrook Aquifer. So we're looking at some sites where we could potentially actually implement some physical solutions to help achieve those goals.
Well, today we're walking with the community and going over live and in the space some of the nature-based solutions that we can look at to help corporations move into the next millennium, bringing together the pairing of ecological values and profitability, and spaces where the type of development we do can change and become something that serves us better in ways that aren't built out of the previous century, where we're expressing landscapes of control. Now we want to be expressing landscapes of value.
The group spent time touring different parking areas and other developments near the aquifer to see places that represent opportunities for change.
What we're looking at are opportunities to transform pieces of landscape that are underutilized and no longer serve us, like portions of the parking lots at the Burlington Mall, how those could have a better purpose to serve the mall and the community and the environment. Where things have started to change, like with the walkway along the river, how that gives a piece of both ecology, recreation, and an amenity for the offices, and then looking out into the offices themselves and seeing what things there are still old and traditional that could change to help us build a better landscape. Things like pervious pavements as opposed to parked areas, landscapes that are depressed rather than raised up, and planting selections that serve more than just ornamental value.
The study is meant to provide options for ways to address the issues identified. Actually, implementing any suggestions will be a longer-term process.
So this is just basically a plan. If we want to actually, create some of these projects where they're designing now, we'll have to work with the private property owners, various boards in town, to work together to actually create some nature-based solutions on the ground.
Touring along the Vinebrook Aquifer, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
There may be a new shuttle route connecting parts of Burlington to the MBTA's Alewife station if both the town and the business community agree to be on board with the costs. At the latest Select Board and Transportation Subcommittee meetings, the proposal to work with the 128 Business Council for the new shuttle system was discussed. Economic Development Director Melissa Tintakoulis said the plan is to get buy-in from the business community to see if they would cover the costs, or at least half of the costs, for the benefit of having another commuting option for workers. Tintakoulis said the shuttle route would include Burlington commercial areas, including Mall Road and Middlesex Turnpike, but the service is meant to benefit everyone working or living in town that could benefit from it. The proposal for the potential project is due on June 24, and the Select Board stated they will take it up again during their June 13 meeting. In the meantime, members gave Tintakoulis verbal encouragement to continue seeking input from the business community to gauge interest. On Sunday, June 5th, the BHS class of 2022 was honored at the annual graduation ceremony on Varsity Field. Many of the student speakers encouraged their fellow classmates to stay true to themselves and forge their own path as they take the next steps into the future. BNEWS reporter Chris Flaherty has this look.
Fellows, we made it. Some of us worked very hard, some of us worked, and some of us got lucky. But one way or another, we're all here today. So let's take a second to look back and reflect on our time as Red Devils.
Pomp and circumstance returned to Varsity Field on Sunday, June 5th, as the BHS community celebrated the graduating class of 2022. After the last 2 years followed COVID restrictions and guidelines, this year's ceremony took on a traditional format.
It was nice to get back to our normal procedures, a lot of smiling faces, nice to see the parents there, all the families. It was just nice to be back to a sense of normalcy.
The class speakers encouraged their fellow graduates to boldly charge into an uncertain future with confidence and kindness.
I keep saying we rolled with the punches as a way to demonstrate that we are resilient and we are adaptable. Each and every one of you has untapped potential, and it's up to you to decide how you use that potential. As we enter the world with a new outlook on life, society likes to tell you that there are things that you have to do. I challenge you to question those things and find a way to build your own path. As Steve Jobs once said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
The world is condemned to chaos, so you must take the time to find what you love and to live every moment of life to the fullest. Because why waste one singular second of precious time on this earth being anything other than yourself, or doing anything other than what brings you joy, if the world is just going to go to chaos anyways?
Tina Fey once said that confidence is 10% hard work and 90% delusion. I hope everyone here is confident in themselves, even if that confidence feels unfounded. Don't doubt yourself just because you're unsure of your future plans or worried about college. Everyone here shares those same worries. Stand proudly and greet those uncertainties with confidence and a strong belief in yourself.
As we move forward as graduates, we must work harder to bridge the divides and especially to help those that are struggling. We can be the agents of change in a world that is upside down. When we take the time to listen, to forgive, and to connect with people, even those that are very different from ourselves, we can make a difference. Class of 2022, together we have experienced success, failure, happy times, and sadness. As we move forward, I ask you to remember the value of kindness.
The class of 2022 will be remembered for leaving their own unique legacy at Burlington High School.
You know, we always miss them because you get to know them and you miss their personalities, you miss seeing them in the hallways, you miss the interactions, and every class leaves their own mark, and this class was no different. Great group of kids, and couldn't be happier for all of them.
Congratulations, graduates. Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
In related graduation news, Burlington High School gave one last hurrah for the class of 2022 with the annual all-night graduation party at Kings Bowl on 3rd Avenue. BNews reporter Robert Paris has this report.
The Burlington High School class of 2022 will begin the next chapter in their lives after receiving their diplomas during the graduation ceremony on June 5th. BHS kept the festivities going that evening at Kings Bowl on 3rd Avenue for the class's all-night graduation party.
The class of 2022 is exceptionally fun and bright. My experience has been nothing but short of wonderful. Every kid I've worked with has been very fun to work with, but also very intelligent. I feel very lucky to work with the class of 2022.
Last couple of years have been kind of funny for you guys because it was either hybrid schedules or a lot of the time you were masked the last couple of years. So it feels like we just started getting to know your grade once the mask came off and the personalities, the smiles came out. So I always miss the personalities, the students. We get to know them so well. We'll miss seeing you guys in the hallway.
Dan Wynn spoke to quite a few graduates that evening on what their plans are going forward and what they will miss from high school.
College.
St. Anselm.
Southern New Hampshire.
Merrimack College.
What are you majoring in?
Business, I think.
Elementary education.
Communications and media.
I'm going to miss my classmates and the community that is Burlington High School. We're all so close, and I think this year just brought us even closer together. We're going to we had an awesome graduation today, an awesome senior year. I'm going to miss these guys.
I'm going to be you.
UMass Lowell. What are you guys majoring in?
Mechanical engineering.
Finance.
I would hope that like the environment in college will be similar to what is in high school, so I hope I won't miss anything.
I honestly miss, obviously we're gonna experience a lot of things in college. I just miss like being so used to comfortable, like being around you guys, since I've been around you guys since like middle school. I don't know, that's what's gonna hit. New beginnings is what's kind of scaring me.
Where are you going next year?
Bryant University.
What are you going there for?
Marketing and sales.
Awesome. Are you going to miss anything from this class, from like any people? Like what?
I'm going to miss my teachers. They're the best, man. Yeah. I'm going to miss my friends too.
Every year, the graduating class watches a hypnotist show put on by Frank Santos Jr.
So experiences, I'm trying to make the kids have the best 1 hour of the night. I try and change it up. These kids haven't seen my show, so I do a lot of the same stuff, but it's a lot of fun.
Congratulations, class of 2022. We wish you nothing but the best of luck in your futures. From Kings Bowl on 3rd Avenue, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
On Sunday, June 26th, Burlington will be holding its second annual LGBTQ Burlington Pride celebration on the Town Common from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Leo Abramoff and Kerry Moe, who spearheaded the inaugural event a year ago, have been the lead organizers for this event's return. Most said they were happy with last year's turnout, and it was exactly what they wanted to see. Burlington is one of the few places in Massachusetts that doesn't have Pride celebrations through the schools, the town, or churches. Burlington's LGBTQ community is looking for the Pride celebration to be a Burlington-based community event. Most said this year's event will be a bit bigger because more people are aware of it, and it will have more tables and volunteers showing support. Burlington High School students will be more involved this year, teaming up with Shawsheen Tech students. There will be a local hairdresser doing braids and clip-ons, along with a host of crafts. Temporary tattoos and face painting will be making its Burlington Pride debut, as it was not allowed last year due to COVID. The Burlington Public Library will be on hand and holding LGBTQ story times. Burlington Buzz will be in attendance and more. Mo explained how business owners and politicians were graciously turned down, saying they didn't want to make it a political or have corporate sponsors. Common Craft is a new multi-experience beverage concept under one roof with a carefully curated and rotating selection of hospitality experiences and the latest addition to the Burlington Mall's new outdoor green space. BNews reporter Tad Stefanak went to check it out and has this report.
Burlington's foodie destinations just keep coming. This time from the uncommon concept of Common Craft at the Burlington Mall. Founder and owner Larry Leibowitz.
Common Craft is super unique just because we're able to combine 4 different experiences under one roof. We have 2 beer-themed bar tap rooms, got a wine experience tasting room, as well as a cocktail lounge speakeasy. Within the 4 different experiences, we have craft producers where we feature their products, and that means everything from their product to how it's being served and presented, and a continuation of their brand from their original tap rooms. So as we built out the space, it was really cognizant to make sure that we took those design attributes from their original tap rooms and incorporated them into Common Craft. When I learned about Burlington Mall's plans to expand this open-air lifestyle center, the choice was clear. There's just so much going on in this area, so much vibrance with not only new restaurants and really well-respected restaurants, but also the retail component. And this open-air lifestyle center has a lot to offer in green space and activities. It was a vision that I could clearly see as a great space to launch Common Craft. So we describe our menu to be a modern gastropub in style, where it's very casual and approachable food, menu items that are recognizable with a little bit of a twist, food that pairs well with the different beverages that we have. It's just extremely casual and unpretentious, and we invite you to come in with the family and after work with work colleagues. It really has a lot to offer for any sort of demographic per se. We not only have obviously alcoholic beverages, but we have non-alcoholic offerings as well in each of the facilities. We have an outside patio space that is dog friendly, that you can enjoy some beverages on our patio. The Common Craft brand really takes a backstage to our individual producers, which we're highlighting, give them an opportunity for them to grow and expand through more exposure, marketing opportunities, and greater sales. Common Craft is nothing more than just a humble brand that takes a step back and allows us to highlight our producers.
Common Craft is also one of the latest businesses to join the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce.
Rick from the Chamber of Commerce was fantastic. He was extremely welcoming, and he's really committed to welcoming new businesses, which is just great to see. Through the network and resources, I feel like it's a great relationship to come. There's a tremendous amount of opportunity for us to tie that together and really make the new vision of the Burlington Mall something that's unbelievable.
From Common Craft at the Burlington Mall, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak.
Burlington's new zoning for practical entertainment and experiences, as well as expanding biotech, is the latest in local economic development. Let's have a look.
A new ingredient to Burlington's economic development is experiential zoning, along with expanding biotech.
In January, we proposed an experiential use zoning to town meeting, which they approved, which really kind of updates our zoning for the business district and allows uses that are a little bit more modern. Today, people are looking for things to do. What can you do and what's exciting and different? And so what we're trying to do is make that explicit in our zoning so that when tenants come to Burlington and they kind of consider us as a place to land for their business, we can welcome that kind of use, and that generates more excitement and it draws more people in. We do have one currently in the mall called Camp, which is kind of this interactive speakeasy for kids that's kind of hidden from the front, but you go in and have a whole experience. And that's really what you're paying for. You might have food or some product, but the idea is that you're getting out and having something to kind of share or even, take pictures of. In terms of the economic development office, we're working with different departments, including planning, to look at the long-term vision of our community. And a lot of that is rooted in the zoning. Town meeting, planning board, planning staff have been working to rezone, and we've seen real change coming in from some of the office spaces that have been converted to life science. We've seen those now tenanted. More specifically, and very excitingly, the groundbreaking over at Northwest Park. And so that's over nearly 300,000 square feet of new space that'll go there. That space will have 2 life science big anchor institutions there, and it's Vericel and the Broad Institute. What's exciting for that, as anchor institutions, that just will draw in more interest from those more smaller, more kind of graduated, mid-sized companies that are interested in being part of a cluster that have an existence of Broad and Vericel. In addition to that, town meeting approved changes to a Northwest Park to allow for 3 more buildings approximately, as well as along Middlesex Turnpike to allow for some changes to a retail area. So those things will enable us to improve through redevelopment and capture any kind of improvements that we will like to see also in the public realm through these new investments from the private sector.
From the town of Burlington, Office of Economic Development, this is BNews.
A recent fundraiser event brought in funds for an important cause, helping veterans suffering from mental health issues. According to a release, dozens of community members joined the staff of Burlington's D'Amour Law early this month for a fundraiser at the Archer Hotel to support the Skate for the 22 Foundation. 22 veterans die from suicide each day in the United States, the release says. Founded by Robert Bobby Colleton in 2015, Skate for the 22 is an organization that creates and runs all veteran hockey teams with the goal of preventing veteran suicide. To this end, the foundation not only offers those who have served our country with a sense of camaraderie and a place to escape the trauma that they often carry around with them, it also provides suicide awareness and prevention education for veterans and their friends and families. The Cinco de Mayo fundraising event, organized by D'Amour Law in collaboration with the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce Executive Committee member Sonia Rollins, was well attended, with around 50 community members coming together to raise $2,000 for this cause, twice as much as their 2020 fundraiser. We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown for a look at this week's forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Gretchen Carey to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, this is Peter Brown with your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are coming into the middle of June. We are at the tail end of spring as we get very close to the official start of summer in the next week and a half or so. Now, looking at our period coming up, it doesn't look like we're going to have any real warm summer-like weather out there. It looks like we're going to be stuck in type of a spring pattern out there with some showery conditions. So if you have any vacation plans coming up for the next 7 to 10 days, unfortunately, this really isn't the forecast for you. Starting out our period on Friday, we should be seeing temperatures at this time of the year in the mid to upper 70s, and that's about where we'll be. Now, getting in towards the tail end of our period, in towards next Thursday, our average highs at this time of the year should be around 80, and we're probably going to be right around there, maybe a couple of degrees above that as we head towards Thursday, so something to look forward to. And, of course, our days are getting ever so longer as we get towards the official start of summer. After the next couple of weeks or so, our days will start getting shorter again. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us here in the Burlington area in terms of temperatures and precipitation. And looking at our temperature map, it's looking like the Burlington area and most of southern New England are seeing the chance of average temperatures. I'm actually thinking that we might be having some cooler than average temperatures here, especially as we get toward the weekend and towards the start of the work week. And looking at our precipitation chances, it looks like the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us to have average precipitation. We'll have to see if that still holds true. It looks like we're going to have quite a few days of showery weather out there, but it doesn't look like anything to really dampen down the drought conditions that we've been seeing here in the Burlington area. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And again, starting out our period on Friday, highs pretty average for this time of the year, in the mid-70s, maybe a little bit cooler than average. Now, when we get in towards Saturday and Sunday, this is when the much cooler air comes into the picture. It looks like we're going to have a very weak low pressure center hanging around over us here in southern New England, and that's going to keep those spotty showers around. We'll be in and out of the clouds, and an onshore wind coming in from the ocean, meaning our temperatures in the Burlington area will probably be held down into the upper 60s. So not a great weekend out there if you have any outdoor activities planned. Now, as we go ahead, starting out our work week, the unsettled conditions are going to continue for a couple of days until we get to Wednesday, where we see some nice sunshine breaking back out. Then only to bring us some more unsettled weather as we get in towards Thursday as the humidity increases and maybe some showers and thunderstorms move into the area, with temperatures getting finally near average or just a little bit above average and in up into the lower to mid 80s. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Amy Poehler, and you're watching BCAT. Go Red Devils.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your community calendar. On June 18th from 11 a.m. to 11:30, the Burlington Public Library will be having an event called Dads and Donuts. No registration is required. For more information, go to burlingtonpubliclibrary.org. Also on June 18th, the town of Burlington will be having a Shred Day at the Burlington Pocket Park at 184 Cambridge Street. For residents only, ID will be required and a 2-box limit per car. For more information, call the clerk's office at 781-270-1660. Through August 26th on Fridays, 3rd Avenue will be having Kids Jammin' With You on the Green at 9:30 a.m. Everyone is welcome. For more information, go to thirdavburlington.com.
The Red Devils are battling it out in the postseason, and for all the latest action, we go now to BNews sports reporter Anthony Matos for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos, and this is your weekly sports report. The postseason started this past week, and we have the scoop on how everyone did. Lady Devils tennis competed in Billerica and the MIA Division II state playoffs. where they won 3-2. The Lays move on to the round of 16 and will head to Westboro on June 9th. As of this taping, the meet is still to be played. Red Devils tennis hosted a playoff game at Rohannes Park against the 20th seed Reading Rockets on June 6th, where they won a blowout victory of 4-1. In the next round, they were shut out by the Belmont Moderators 0-5. Good luck to everyone in the offseason. We look forward to seeing them again next year. Lady Devils lacrosse had a home playoff game against Canton at Varsity Field. We have some highlights.
Girls Lax competed against Canton at Varsity Field on June 8th in the round of 32 in the MIAA playoff tourney. Burlington put the ball in the net 11 times. While the Devils' defense allowed their opponent to score twice. 11-2 was your final.
Burlington will play the winner of Groton Dunstable Regional or Dartmouth. This game will be played on June 9th. Red Devils lacrosse postseason journey came to an end in the first round as they traveled on Nauset on June 8th, where they lost 5-19. Good luck to everyone in the offseason. Lady Devils softball had 2 playoff games against Plymouth South and Grafton. We roll those highlights.
Girls softball competed against the Plymouth South Panthers in the round 32 Division II MIAA playoff tournament. The game was scoreless for the first 3 innings. The first points on the board came in the bottom of the third when the Devils scored 1 run, 1-0. The ladies scored again in the bottom of the fourth with a run to home plate by sophomore Morgan Ryan, 2-0. Now in the bottom of the fifth, Burlington made their lead even larger with another 4 runs, 6-0. The Devils closed out the game with another 3 runs, with a shutout final of 9-0. The girls competed in the round of 16, where they hosted the Grafton Gators. In the bottom of the second, the Devils made it to home plate to make it 1-0. Grafton tied it up in the bottom of the fourth, 1-1. The Gators took the lead in the top of the sixth, 2-1. In the bottom of the sixth, the Devils found a way to tie up the game again, 2-2. Grafton took the lead back in the top seventh, 3-2. Burlington had one more chance in the bottom of the seventh as Reese McLean was up to bat.
Kunin is poked out of the dirt and caught. Throw to first in time, and that will do it. The Grafton Gators beat the Burlington Red Devils 3-2 in the round of 16 and move on to the quarterfinals.
Lady Devils and Red Devils track competed in the meet of champions at Westfield State University from June 2nd to the 4th. Check out the results at bcattv.org/sports. Red Devils track hosted the MSTCA North Decathlon on June 6th. 9 athletes competed, including Elijah Walensky, Anthony Abbott, Robbie Benjamin, Alex Murray, Colin Irwin, Tyler Callahan, Charles Desmond, Dylan Giles, and Evan Kim. Walensky is Burlington's 5th MSTCA Decathlon champ, joining Burlington alumni Chris Farah, John Cole, Greg Nelson, and Adam Bonfilio. Red Devils volleyball hosted a Division II MIA playoff game against Millis High School on June 3rd, where the team lost in a close match of 2-3. Good luck to everyone in the off-season. Catch more Red Devil action at our website at bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for this week. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo is another shot from the wilds of nature. It was taken by BNews director Rich Hosford and shows a common snapping turtle that was on the side of the street at the entrance to the Burlington High School. Snapping turtles are known to have a combative disposition when out of the water, so while they are cool to see, you don't want to get your fingers anywhere near their powerful jaws. If you see one on the street and have a mind to save them, they also have a very long neck, so make sure that you pick them up behind with both hands one on each side of the shell behind their back feet. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your summer activities, families, pets, the weather outside your front door, or anything else you'd like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Finally, remember to stay tuned after the news for the latest Burlington Public Schools update with Superintendent Eric Conti for the most recent education news. And that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Rich Hosford, Tad Stefanak, Chris Flaherty, Robert Paris, Peter Brown, Gretchen Carey, and Anthony Matos. Thank you for joining us.